today we're going to extend our understanding as far as the knowledge of algebraic fractions is concerned. In our previous lesson, we have taken a closer look at how best we add and subtract algebraic fractions. But in this lesson, we are going to delve in detail, taking again a closer look at how we multiply and divide algebraic fractions. So we're going to look at multiplication and division of algebraic fractions. So bear in mind, let's go back a little bit to earlier grades as far as grade 5. Remember, we used to look at fractions like 2 over 5, right? Maybe times 1 over 7. How best do we multiply fractions? So let's take, for instance, you've got a fraction called a over b that you are multiplying with another fraction, say c over d. So the best way of multiplying algebraic fractions, or any fraction in general, all what you have to do, multiplication is very simple, because you just say numerator times numerator, then you get the result, denominator times denominator, and straight away you get the result. For example, imagine if I have x squared minus 9 over 2x minus 1, right, multiplied by let's say we have 4x squared minus 1 over x minus 3. So how best can we multiply this type of an algebraic fraction? This is an algebraic fraction that we are multiplying with another algebraic fraction. The concept is very simple. Like I said, simply, let's say you've got a fraction multiplying another fraction. So the process is very simple. Take the numerator and multiply by the numerator and get the result. Take the denominator and multiply by the denominator and get the result. What about in this case? We want to simplify this problem. So how best are we going to simplify this problem? So obviously we're going to say numerator times numerator. So we're going to get x squared minus 9 times 4x squared minus 1 all over here. We're going to get 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. So that's the answer. But can we leave it like this? I feel like we can't do that. Why? Because if you take a look here, x squared minus 9 can be written, this is a difference of two squares, which can be factored out as x minus 3 times x plus 3. Right? If you take a closer look at 4x squared minus 1, again, it's a difference of two squares. To those ones who've been following my videos very well, we have another video whereby we have covered the whole chapter for factorization. So yes, this is a difference of two squares, which can be written as 2x minus 1 and 2x plus 1. All over here we've got 2x minus 1, here we've got x minus 3. So by the end of the day, you can see that we've got this expression multiplying this expression, multiplying this expression, multiplying this expression. And on the denominator, we also have another expression multiplying another expression. But let's take a closer look at this factor is the same as this factor. So they cancel each other out. And this factor is also the same as this factor. So they cancel each other out. And then by the end of the day, we remain with this one, which is x plus 3, times this one, which is 2x plus 1. So this is our final solution after simplifying this problem. Okay, let me reinforce this concept further. Let me call this example number 1. Let me reinforce this concept further by means of another example. Let me call example number 2. Simplify, let's say xy over 5 times 2x squared over 3y. How best are we going to simplify this problem? Like I said, this is an algebraic fraction and this is also another algebraic fraction. What are we doing here? We are multiplying these algebraic fractions. So obviously we are going to say numerator times numerator. So xy times 2x squared. So here we're going to get 2x squared times x. We are going to get x cubed y all over, what is 5 times 3y? 5 times 3, we get 15, so the y, so it's going to be 15y, right? Can we leave our answer like this? Yes, that's our answer. There's no problem with it, but we can't consider it the final, because when we say simplify, we want to reduce the answer as far as we can until we cannot reduce it further. So in this case, you can see that there is y here on top, there's also y here on the bottom. So it's mathematically prudent for us to cancel these common factors, and then by the end of the day, we remain with 2x cubed all over 15. So yes, this one is our final solution. Okay, let's take a closer look at the division of fractions. So this was all about multiplication of fractions. This is multiplication that we're looking at. Let's quickly move on to division of algebraic fractions. Okay, so on the division of algebraic fraction, division is very interesting. Let's take a closer look at how we do it. So let's say, for example, we've got a, so now we're looking at division of algebraic fractions. So let's say we've got a over b divided by c over d. You have a certain fraction that you are dividing by another fraction. Okay, so how are we going to divide these fractions? This is very interesting. So what we have to do, you basically need to keep the first fraction and then you multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. What do I mean by the reciprocal of a fraction? So the reciprocal of a fraction, in other words, is the multiplicative inverse. Is the situation whereby you flip. The numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. So here the reciprocal of c over d is d over c. That's the rule. It's just KFC. You know, keep the first and flip the second. You know, just flip and change the second. All right, so in this particular case, this is now multiplication. Obviously, you get AD over BC. So yes, that's how we divide algebraic fractions. Same way you do, even if you are dealing with numbers. Imagine if I say 2 over 5 divided by 1 over 7. Simply keep the first fraction, multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. The reciprocal of 1 over 7 in this case, it's 7 over 1 if we flip around. And then you ended up saying 2 times 7, you get 14 over 5 times 1, you get 5. So yeah, that's it. What about if it is an algebraic fraction? Imagine if you see a question like simplify 2 over x plus 1, right, divided by 4 over x squared minus 1. How best are we going to divide these fractions? So we have an algebraic fraction here dividing another algebraic fraction. So what we are going to do, according to what I've said here, we need to keep the first fraction, which is 2 over x plus 1, right, and multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. And the reciprocal of 4 over x squared minus 1 is x squared minus 1 all over 4. Quite interesting. So then the next move is a matter of multiplication. Remember, when you are multiplying fractions, simply say numerator times numerator. So you're going to get 2 times x squared minus 1 over, here we're going to get 4 times x plus 1. Can we remove brackets? No need for us to remove the brackets. Let's watch out. You can see that x squared minus 1 is a difference of 2 squares, which can be written as x plus 1 times x minus 1, right? And this one, 4 open brackets x plus 1, we can keep it like that. It's the same as 4 times x plus 1. By so doing, you can see that x plus 1 is now common here. X plus 1 is also common. 2 and 4 also have a common factor, which is 2. 2 into 2, we get 1. And 2 into 4, we get 2. So by the end of the day, our solution or answer is going to be 1 times x minus 1 all over this 2, right? Mathematicians, they can also write this as half of x minus 1 is also possible. So yes, that's how we divide algebraic fractions. We just have to keep the same concepts we do when you are dealing with normal numbers. That's the same concept that we also do when you are dealing with algebraic fractions. But when you are dealing with algebraic fractions, you need to be familiar with how we remove brackets, how we simplify algebraic expressions, how we carry out factorization. You know, factorization comes in different ways. It might be those expressions that have a highest common factor, or those expressions that do not have a highest common factor. You need to be very, very careful. So yes, that's all we do when it comes to multiplication and division of algebraic fractions. Let me give you an exercise so that you can try on your own. I'm going to give you only two problems. So the first one says simplify a. We've got 2x over y times 3xy over 5x squared, right? On part B, we have x squared plus 5x all over 2x minus 1, and here we are dividing by x squared minus 25 all over 4x squared minus 1. So yes, I want you to tackle these two problems on the board. The first one is multiplication of algebraic fractions, and the second one is division of algebraic fractions. Awesome. Enjoy.